Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Elite Marks. This is the wonderful A-List Alverson coming to you in a bit of a more somber tone today as the information that I revealed during last night's tag team matchup that implicates that one Hollywood Haywood is indeed the illegitimate half-brother of A-List Alverson has sparked a lot of controversy, which I unfortunately have to address. Now, I have been asked for legal provenance. I have been asked for laboratory testing, none of which I possess, nor does it exist. What I do have that substantiates and establishes the claim that I made is tax and accounting records and archived media. You see, my daddy had some clause in the marriage agreement that he could not commit adultery. Now, being the clever individual that he is, there was a loophole a bit of that he took advantage of, that it would not be considered adultery due to the nature of his business if it was a for-profit venture. What I mean to say is that the encounter with Mrs. Haywood was filmed in a 3-camera shoot. There are payroll records and licensing documents that indicate the film was titled Haywood, You Bend Over, and was released on a single screen in the suburban outskirts of Bismarck, North Dakota, on a snowy Wednesday night and shown one time. There were 0 paid attendance, and the losses of the film were written off by my daddy's company as a loss of operations. So as you see, not only does the conception of Hollywood Haywood by the means of my father physically exist, it was paid for and deducted. And it's good to be part of the family. Elite Marks! A-List Alverson here. You know, the older and wiser that I get, the more I've come to understand that it just ain't worth holding on to petty quarrels all the way through your life. It's bad for your mental and physical health. And this is the holidays. The holidays are a time about spreading joy and being with the people that are important in your life. And Knight and Thompson, I've told you already, I want to like you. You remind me of someone that played a very important role in shaping my life. And I've also come to realize that you, me, we're on the same team. The Iron Elite came in here wanting to take over, and I went back to bat for Elite Marks. That makes you and I associates in that matter. So instead of coming out here and having a verbal back-to-back trying to outdo one another, I propose this. You and I, well, we're just gonna have a good old-fashioned holiday family feud, because you and I have got some things that we need to sort out. I got things I want to say about you. Woo! You got some things you want to say about me, and we got some time to talk about it, don't we? First things first, Knight and Thompson. I don't like your asshole face. I don't like your demeanor. I think you're ugly as all hell. Oh, this is going to keep going until they have to pull us apart and say, you remember the time at that holiday party? Them two uncles had that. Oh, yeah. It's like that, Nighty. Needs less eggnog. I'll tell you something else that's going on here, Knighton. What is the purpose of this? This is for the #1 contender for the Smack Talk title. That's a belt that you have lost 4 times already. Hey, let me ask you something there, Nuttin. You spend your Christmas bonus yet from Creator? Guess who you've got to thank for that one? The man that sent the ratings up triple-fold to what they were before I came in here. Who do I get thanks from for that? Absolutely nobody. You know why? Because y'all are jealous. Jealous of what I've done without you. Jealous of what I'll do after you. And how do you get back to me for it? Well, I'm sitting on a record that's barely at 500. But that's all right. There's more for us to discuss. Let's talk about this. I bet I could beat you in arm wrestling. I bet I could beat you in a foot race. I bet I could beat you at backgammon, chess, checkers, and video games too. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret, and this is an aside. It's an off the record, out the cuff, through the gate and around. But I want you to apply this to your everyday life. I always buy my holiday sweaters 2 sizes bigger than my walking around the street clothes, because in December your waistline puffifies. So if I lose this fight, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm blaming it on the pounds. Because I'm the smart one around. Listen, Norton, you want to start slapping? Well, let's start slapping. And at the end of this, everybody's going to talk about family history. And oh boy, I'm going to make you famous. You know, A-List Alverson ain't walking into this one in a good mood today. I'll start by telling you why. The championship committee just pointed out to me that because this is a non-title match, I don't get my championship bonus. I gotta work for scale. So there's no belt tonight because y'all didn't pay to see it. On top of all that, I gotta work an extra day in the year for no money because Jay Briggy runs his drunken fat mouth at the holiday party, ruining our moment of success, thinking that he's somebody. Now, once upon a time ago, Jay Briggy, you might have been somebody. I remember on my way up, you were the one that had my number. And in the prevailing weeks, months, and years since then, I have had championship reigns totaling well over 12 months as you have dwindled down the card, changing your face, changing your demeanor, losing all the credibility you once had as a star. Jay Briggy, I got a question for you. How old are you really? No, let me phrase that better. How long have you been 19 years old? A man comes out here and tries to be menacing when he's north of 40 in a Misfits shirt with the sleeves cut off. That is not intimidating, it's embarrassing. Furthermore, hey look, Rodney Dangerfield thinks he can kick my ass. Hey, I'm doing all right now, but last week I was in rough shape, you know? Look, I hate to be the bearer of the brutal honesty, Briggy, but Don Rickles never won a fight, and here in HSP, you are never going to win a championship. My wife and I were happy for 20 years, and then we met. Now, come on, old Willie One-Liner. You can do better than that, can't you? You need to take some bullying classes from the Archie comics or something. Give me what you really got. I don't have any sex life. I tried to masturbate, and I get a headache. Come on, Billy Goat Gruff, you gonna fire up on me? You know, if there's one good part of this bad situation, is that this match is under standard rules. We get a 30-second reprieve. That's 30 seconds less I need to hear you and your stupid bully quips that your 3 friends in the Dumbass Club will laugh at. They're all sick of your act. I'm sick of your act, and you have got nothing left to offer HSP. So, Briggy, go ahead and flex your beer muscles, because I'm going to hold you accountable to your nonsense tonight. And at the end of it all, you got no place to go but out. Look, I ain't the kind of guy that's into doing more work for less money, and if I lose this match, what's it gonna cost us? Absolutely nothing. Put some filler in there, call it a day. I'm A-List Alverson, and this is my house. He's A-List Alverson, he's handsome, my oh my.
Well, thank you.
He's A-List Alverson, he's rich like pudding pie. A-List Alverson, gonna let that money fly.
What?
Because A-List Alverson is just that good of a guy. Well, hi, y'all! What's the big deal? Greetings to you all out there. W. You see what I did? That's a 3. That's a W. I'm giving that one to you. I know y'all had high hopes and expectations to have the opportunity to see A-List Alverson live and in person in front of you tonight. Unfortunately, the first mistake everybody made was thinking that the price that they paid for their ticket tonight was going to be enough to get an action star the caliber of A-List Alverson. If y'all had them basic arithmetic skills, you'd know that the gate ain't going to equal the retainer. And furthermore, my contract states that I am not required to debut until Texas Stampede, where you'll see me for the first time as an entrant in the Stampede Rumble. A fitting beginning for a top-level star. We'll see y'all. All right, HSP, I'm just going to come out and say it. I am at a loss for what the hell is going on here with AEP. I don't know if anybody's actually been able to sit down and consume the 60 or 80 minutes of mumbo jumbo that he has published leading into this matchup. But he's talking about secret gardens and sports careers and foster parents, and you can't play mind games without a mind, let me tell you. Nevertheless, we've got less than 4 minutes to figure it out. Is there some type of decode or deciphering mechanism that I need to look into?
A-List, take this.
What's this?
It's a flower from the secret garden. It's the key to unlocking the mystery of all the mind games.
A flower from the secret garden? What do you do with it?
You set it on fire and burn the garden down.
Oh my. The truth is here. I can see it clear. The A-lister has become the AEP listener. Tell me, child, what it is you desire. Is it right here? Have some. But wait, first, we've got to play some mind games. Tell me what's bothering you.
My grandma not let me play football.
Man, why would you take your grandmother's advice on athletics?
I'm very mad.
I got an idea. Let's decide this the way it was meant to be. Welcome to the Mind Games, AEP. Let's keep it fair. We'll flip a coin to see who goes first. Heads, I win. Tails, you lose. Heads it is, I'll go first. The rules are very simple. You roll the dice, and then you see what happens next. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. King me. All right, it's your turn. Pick a card. Advance to the main event. Collect the Pure Heart Championship. I didn't say Simon Says.
Oh.
That means you gotta pay a penalty. Ooh, your king fell. Match point. 5. Oh, you got lucky. Replay the last turn. 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, Queen's Bishop 2 with 4 hotels. You know what that means. I get 2 turns. Larry's Zabisco Chop.
Oh.
Uno. You better hope that it ain't what I know that it is. The King of Heart and Soul. Oh, no, you don't, anti-entertainment promo. Woo! Yes, sirree! It's the big fight night, and A-List Alverson is going to give it 110%. Go out there, win the Rumble, and become the #1 contender for the XWE Championship. Because to call the rest of y'all championship competition would be goddamn disgraceful. XWE, I've taken a lap or 2 around the building, looking at an audience made up of nothing but the other wrestlers, 3 of their girlfriends, and their plugs waiting for a payday out there, and it's taught me a lot about your culture. As you buffoons have paraded in here trying to take part in this magnificent, momentous occasion, it's taught me the difference between lower class and last class. But in the build-up of all this, one man had to call me out by name. Isn't that right, Titty Jiggle Blair? I'm guessing this is your house, and I've come at the doorstep, and you're offended by it. My sincere apologies, sir. I didn't ask to be here, but if I'm gonna get the payday that I was promised, I gotta win the damn thing, so you're gonna have to sit back and listen for a minute or 2. Let me start by clearing up the misconception about a man that calls himself A-List. You see, A-List is just an abbreviation because A-Lister is the name on my W-4. If you ever had a job, you would know what that meant. Nevertheless, you got a problem with me. I can sense that. And you want to come up in my grill saying, do I look intimidated? Do I look scared? You look like you couldn't run a mile without stopping for a soda halfway through. You and all the other organic pieces of trash in this dumpster fire, and if you think for a golly damn second that me or anybody else holding the ticket thinks you're gonna be able to run the gauntlet of people without getting blown up, without getting rolled over, you are as delusional as my poor friend Tommy Dyer, who thinks that the girl at the Asian massage parlor only does bareback to him. Now, I am fully prepared to go out there in a rumble of butterballs and beards, and you want to have bloodshed. That's what you want. You want to do a massacre. Go ahead there, Titty Jiggles. I can see that you'll use a razor anywhere except your upper lip. And by the time this is all done, A-List Alverson will have made everybody know the worth of himself. And if you haven't heard of me, damn, that's a you problem. XWE, you want to cause havoc? You want to cause a ruckus? You want to cause mass destruction? How about every single one of y'all go home, tell your mother you love them, and watch them fucking drop dead of a heart attack? Spill your pathogens in the duct tape that covers the XWE ring mat, and if that's not extreme enough for you, fuck all y'all. Elite Marks, go ahead and roll out the welcome mat for your favorite bastardized brother of Hollywood Haywood, A-List Alverson. And tonight, there's a monster rumble, and the stakes are the Smack Talk Championship, currently held and possessed by first name Jason, last name Brigden. Feel free to take any liberties you want with either of those names. If you've known him as long as I have, it's Jay Briggy. And Jay Briggy and I have tons of ancient history. He'll be sure to tell you all about it, because beating me 2 years ago was the last thing he did that makes him look good. Mr. Briggy, that Smack Talk title that you hold that was bequeathed to you by the retired Knighton Thompson is really your last big claim to fame, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. You got a couple of mid-card belts out there, right? You know, the last time we tussled on the grand stage, you were aiming for a shot at the WGP World Championship, right? And you went on to win it! The biggest victory of your life! But for those of us that were there, what happened shortly after that? Well, I've assembled for the Elite Marks audience a list of the top 3 people who were WGP World Champion longer than Jay Briggy. Coming in at number 3, the Warden. Yeah, the hardcore god. Didn't make any successful defenses, still was able to hold the calendar down as champion longer than you, sir. Number 2, Alan Matthews, that college intern hired to run the show after you dipped, had that dumpster baby sitting on his desk waiting for somebody else to win it longer than you had it in your possession and called yourself champion. But not to be outdone by the office stooge. Number 1, the Mailman. That's right, the courier that had the belt in the package held it longer than Jay Briggy, and this is the best thing you've ever done. I'll tell you something, Mr. Brigglesworth. The lack of quality in your presentation has been a very big contributing factor in the downfall of your stock in the promo market. It's gotten to the point where what you did and who you were is way more important than who you are and what you're doing. As for me, I go into new markets, winning new prizes, making us all look better in what we do. Well, I got some comments from someone that you're very familiar with by the name of Judge 3.
Dear Briggy, your promo sucks. You are not a badass. Dip, 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 dip. I mean, you're really bad at being an ass, but that doesn't count towards scoring any points, and you should be embarrassed by what you put out for content. Dip, 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 dip. It's very clear that the Foundation Promo League is worse off because of you. Dip, 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 dip. As well as Kenzo Blackheart and the King of Dad Style, but mostly because of you. You suck. Sincerely, Judge 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, take your seats and grab your cotton candy. It's time for the greatest show in the world.
Hey kids! I'm Ricardo! You can call me Ricka! I'm here to entertain the fucking shit out of you! For my first trick, I'm gonna make this cigarette disappear! My hair's on fire. Next! I'm gonna buy some swirly lollipops at Oriental Trading! And I'm gonna charge you $10 a pop for them. After that, I'm gonna buy some sweatshop apparel with my face on it from Vietnam, made by kiddies younger than you, and I'm gonna charge you $30 for them. After that, I'm gonna finish exfoliating, and I'm gonna sell my face for $300 to you. Can't believe I paid $6 for a pack of cigarettes. I don't even smoke. Ricardo Wildly, I do know and understand that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And I can see the magnitude of what is going on here. Two very high-profile individuals, champions across multiple platforms that have paved the way for how the game is played in this land, squaring off in the earliest stages of an absolutely monumental event to decide the number one contender for the Grand Championship. Now, one of us might have a little bit of a reputation of being too humorous in our approach. The other one is a clown. One of us has shown that they will stand tall, go nose to nose with any individual, not taking a morsel of crap from nobody on his home turf. The other one is a clown. One of us is the fightingest champion in Revolution history. The other one does acrobatic flippity flops dressed like a clown. You understand where I'm going with this, Rico Wildly? A-List Alverson built the revolution on the back of my effort, and I am not prepared to let any wayward carny roll on here with a tumbleweed and take my work and call it his pride. So do me a favor. Tear down that big top and get the hell out of my town. Don't even know the difference between a carnival and a circus, and you call yourself a clown. I'm the A-lister. Revolution, I am not as dumb as some of the folks out there would have you believe. I've taken a gander at the field of competition here in the Evolution of Revolution tournament, and I see exactly how things are laid out and why. Over on the west side of the bracket, just this week, I saw for the first time in tournament history, if my eyes don't deceive me, it was 3 guys losing in the same match. And one of them just happens to be pushed forward into the next round. Meanwhile, not but a week ago, A-List Alverson had to square off with a bona fide legend in Rico Wildly. And now I've got to take on a Revolution Tag Team Champion. We're just pushing me up against the top guys here. If you ask Tommy CEO Savage if he wants A-List Alverson to be the winner in this one, he will tell you no while he hopes for yes. Not only is Tommy gearing me in the hardest road to fight, knowing that I have the best vehicle to travel it, but he's put the situation out there where the OG Bossellini has got to choose between his 2 championship partners. Psst, hey, Bossellini, Judge Carter. Don't think about Tommy. Think about you. It's about you. Do the right thing. Now, everybody's gonna have their story about the seedling of this tournament bracket being fair and random and luck of the spin of the wheel, but I will have you know that a man with the good fortune of being born with the name A-Lister would never encounter this level of bad luck naturally.
it's quite clear that A-List Alverson is the victim of a corporate-sponsored conspiratory screw at the hands of the CEO. And Landfill, I'm a respectful man, but I'm also a realistic man. There's a saying in the world where my enemy's enemy is my friend. This right here is that rare occasion where you reverse that, turn it around, and my friend's friend is my enemy. I know that you want to be the top guy. I know you aspire to world championship, and I know that you can't get past me to do it. You hate the way A-List Alverson has always been put in the top spot. You hate that I beat Ricky Wildchild so easily and convincingly, but I'll be honest, the only reason why I won that match is because he is a piece of garbage. Are you a piece of garbage? Landfill, no, you're the whole damn field of garbage, ain't you? Nevertheless, people tell me you gotta watch out for Landfill A-Lister. He's got great delivery. As if I am concerned about great delivery. I am the total package. Great delivery ain't gonna get you nowhere because Domino's don't make the best pizza and Revolution ain't the best with Landfill on top. You hear that? Oh, by the way, don't you go thinking that I forgot. And after copious busy signals, A-List Alverson has officially logged in to the quarterfinal round of the Evolution of Revolution tournament to take on the 500-plus time world champion, Shady Sean McKenzie. You know, in 1997, this would have been a fair fight, Shady. You at your prime, me in my formative and vulnerable years. But alas, that hill has been traveled well over by you. Some might suggest that I'm over the hill, but I can still reach behind me and touch the top of it, and my hill is a lot taller than the rest of y'all's. Now, I got to give props to you, Mr. Shady. Through your efforts and contributions to this tournament, you have saved the public from having to see A-List Alverson versus Mr. Wallace for the 7th time in the last 13 months. I do commend you for that. But right there is where we stop agreeing with each other, is where we stop being on the same page, because I've got a point to prove through the inept and corrupt management of this federation led by Mr. Tommy Savage. Here we are in the 3rd year of the Evolution of Revolution tournament, and it ain't even for a prize. It's to get a match with another guy. How insane is that? But nevertheless, Shady, listen, we ought to be discussing this differently. We don't have to have a man-to-man fight with violence and vitriol. We ought to be seated on a waterfront patio. I ain't talking about your backyard with the swamp over the hill, but we ought to be seated there. We ought to have a nice bottle of Johnny Walker Blue and a 40 of Old English or Steel Reserve or whatever you kind of beer you funnel that tastes like pennies, and we ought to be sitting there, me and my Armani Special, you in the runner-up for the old man's funeral jacket, and we ought to discuss this like gentlemen and come to a nice amicable conclusion, yeah? But you ain't programmed to have it that way, are you, Shady? No, Jonathan, here's the deal. I know the truth of the matter, as it were. I can tell you that underneath that bandana, that beneath those porcelain veneers, that inside those gauge holes your ears, there is an old, broken down man rotten to the core. And A-List Alverson is the top performing act in the history of Revolution. And at the end of this round, I'm going to go to the semis. I'm going to go to the finals. I'm going to prove my continued worth to all the men that doubt that there is such a thing left. But don't worry, down the road, Jonathan, you and I can have a more formal consensus. You know what I mean?
Will the really Slim Shady please stand up? I repeat, will the really Slim Shady please stand up?
Well now, Revolution, we're in the semi-final round, ain't we? This whole tournament ain't getting any more credible for you, and it ain't getting any fairer for me. This is match number 4, and who am I going against but a guy who made it in from the cattle call and has since made it all the way to the semifinals without ever having a match in Revolution. Do I have to make the same comments every single time until you are convinced of the truth that I have seen since the get-go? SNES, the gamer. You know, here's something I've noticed, that the guys that bowed out in your first couple of matches weren't able to show up to work as scheduled had a to-do with something about a woman that they were in love with. Now you are never gonna have that problem being a video gamer. The closest thing to a woman in your life lives upstairs.
Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
SNES, you think you're good. You think you're special. You think that you've actually achieved something to get to this point in the competition. But the bottom line and the irrefutable truth is that nobody's actually been on the other side to tell you that you suck. My name's A-List Alverson. You suck. The guy screaming your name at the beginning of your intro sucks, and there ain't no amount of button mashing that's gonna get you into the finals or beyond of this tournament, because A-List Alverson has been the staple act of this company damn near 2 years now, and rest assured, there are no cheat codes to the top of the revolution. This is gritty, this is dirty, you fight your way to make your way here. So you can ask your Discord server for all their advice. You can roll the button pads like it's some kind of secret weapon. The only thing that you see in the light at the end of the tunnel is actually old mommy telling you to come upstairs and get your Kraft mac and cheese and take off that stupid mask and get some sunshine, some vitamin D, so you don't get osteoporosis or rickets or whatever other kind of crapola that comes with that deal. You understand? I got one masked ass in front of me that I gotta go through, and then maybe I'll have another after that. And then maybe I'll have Harry after that. 3 masked asses in a row, and I don't care, because this is what I've been doing the whole time you've seen me, and I love it. SNES, I'm telling you, what are you gonna do? For real though. You're gonna hulk up with some Mountain Dew?
Can I have a Mountain Dew? Yes, you can have a Mountain Dew, just don't get it.
The most physical thing you've ever done is camp outside of a Best Buy overnight so you can get an Xbox 360 first thing in the morning. Do some physical damn activity. If you could actually pull off 13 push-ups without getting blown up, I'd believe that you have a chance of beating me. Until then, don't get too angry when the game doesn't finish the way you anticipated, soccer boy. And so, folks, we've made it to the finals of the Evolution of Revolution Tournament version 3. And outside of the fact that A-List Alverson is the only one that had to do any damn work this time around, I'm going to break form a little bit for a second here. And I'm going to speak directly to JD the Destroyer. JD, you are a man that's very young and up and coming in this game. You have showed a tremendous amount of growth in a very short time. You have put all the effort in the right places to do the right things and are destined to be a great name here in the Revolution and anywhere else you decide to ply your craft. It is with absolute humbleness that I tell you, you deserve to be in the finals of this tournament. Is what I would say if I was a complete motherfucking moron. Oh shit, here he goes. You made it to the finals of an absolute dumpster fire of a tournament that had 3 no-shows, 1 last-minute replacement, judges holding up the flow of the action, a guy that lost a match and still went to the next round, not to mention you got on the easy side of the deal there where all the talent was. Meanwhile, A-List Alverson goes through tag team champions, bona fide legends, holy crap gamers, and so on and so forth. When I see JD the Destroyer come onto my screen, automatically, the year is 1997, it's public access television on cable, and the JD the Destroyer show is playing as he counts down the top 5 music videos of his friends' indie bands who are never gonna chart anywhere. I gotta ask you something, JD. How long were you grounded for from your parents for writing your name on their bed sheets? JD, let's take a look back on the stops of the road, shall we? How did you get here today? You beat Gunshot? Well, I mean, a little bit of Gunshot anyway, right? You beat Villain, isn't it funny? You beat the 8th iteration of 7 that we've seen in the last 4 weeks. The math works out in there some way, somehow. Finally, in the last match of the tournament, you go against a man who's worth his name here in Revolution. Quite honestly, the best thing going in Revolution right now is the fact that A-List Alverson is a part of it. Now, you probably want this more than I do. I'll be willing to admit that because you have not had any sort of taste of championships. I've had the good taste of the Revolution Gold. I've been successful everywhere I've laced my boots, but you, sir, are just a toddler in a man's game. And are you thinking today that you're going to take me down? It's not something I am prepared for. You see, I've got old beef with Harry, the man that's going to be on the other side of this match. I've got a receipt that I've got to give to him, and if I got to go through this young punk to get to it, there's no problem with that. It's already my 5th match of the tournament. I'm sure that I can knock off one more to make myself the top guy once again, whether Tommy Savage likes it or not. So all y'all can sit down, kiss my rich ass, and deal with it. What's up, New York? This is EJ the DJ, keeping you alive through your morning drive. If you are coming into the city from the Jersey side today, you have got 45 minutes at the Holland, 60 at the Lincoln. Stay the hell away from the George Washington because it is a mess. We've got a jackknife tractor trailer on the upper level, everybody and their mother trying to get in on the lower level. If you're on the other side of the river, BQE, Belt Parkway.
You're going nowhere.
Ho, 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 ho. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up on February 23rd, Heart and Soul Promotions is bringing you Heartbreak 2, the feature matchup in that. You've got A-List Alverson, the Pure Heart champion, defending his title against Hollywood Haywood, his top rival. I've got both of these guys in the studio today. A-List, thank you for coming in, spending the time to be here with us, and thank you for the piping hot Krispy Kremes. Well, thank you much, EJ. It is always a perpetual privilege for me to be here in New York City. I love the scenic views from the tops of the skyscrapers around here, and I make it a point to spit from the top of the Empire State Building at least once when I come around. You know what I mean? I hope you don't mind me utilizing your headset in a creative fashion here. I'm trying not to ruin my hair. I've got a lot to do today. Ha ha ha! Hell of a guy. I always love having you around. Hollywood Haywood, you're from the West Side. What makes it better here? Let me know.
What makes it better here? I'm not sure that it is better here. I guess that's up for opinion, if you know what I'm saying. But apparently A-List thinks it's better here. He's definitely made a name for himself in this city, and it's been said that if you can make a name for yourself in this city, that you can make it anywhere. But you know, we all know that A-List Alverson is a lot like New York. There's a lot of hoopla about New York, a lot of hoopla about A-List Alverson. But when you actually see it, does it actually live up to the hype?
Speaking of greetings from people in other parts of the country, I got a couple friends of mine that wanted to ask Hollywood Haywood a question. It goes a little something like this. Haywood, how's your mom and them? How's your mom and them? I love that. That's a good one. I get it. I'll tell you what mine are, though. Don't know, don't give a damn. Oh, you got me. You got me. You are a joker. Trickster, you are.
Yeah, that must have been his friend the Heathen. You know, I've met the Heathen's mama, and I understand why Heathen doesn't care about mamas and them. And, you know, for that to even come up while we're trying to talk about this incredible title match shows the type of people that the cartel are.
A-List, I don't know if anybody ever told you before, but you have such magnificent hair. What do you do to have such beautiful hair? Please tell me. I'll be honest with you, EJ, that's actually one of the things that comes with being naturally born with the good fortune of A-List Alverson. Now, I work very hard to achieve a lot of my superior traits, but my hair is just one of the actions of superior genetics. What can I say? And Hollywood Haywood, I gotta ask you a similar question. Do you get a discount at the barber for giving him less work to do, or how does that work?
You know, EJ, are we here to talk about hair, or are we here to talk about the biggest match in Heart and Soul Promotions history at Heartbreak 2? Because I was under the impression that we were here to not talk about mamas, to not talk about hair, but to talk about me versus A-List Alverson for the Pure Heart Championship.
But moving forward into this upcoming match here, A-List Alverson, please tell me, how many times have you defended this title, and who have you beaten up until now? Oh my, that is quite the year full of questions that you just asked there. I won this title in the four-way back at Lions Roar. I took out Bossellini, Mr. Wallace, and the then-champion American Roughneck. My first successful title defense was against the late, great Ivan Rage, and that was my first 21-point matchup. After there, I took out the Storyteller after he was the first guy into the gauntlet, the last guy out, and the second one to fall to the Pure Heart champion. I had some tussles with Landfill and Vagabond, a couple of doo-hops with Mr. Wallace there. Let me think. Roughneck, he lost his right of redemption. There's one of those in there, too. Most recently, I had AEP. I hope you're keeping count, because I lost a long time ago. I have just been holding this title for as long as it's been worth watching on the show, as you know. Wow, that is impressive. You are phenomenal. Hollywood Haywood, tell me, when exactly is the last time you even had a match in HSP, and how did you get in the title picture?
My last match was at Soul Harvest 2, where I was viciously attacked after taking on Mr. Mayhem. I was viciously attacked by the now defunct group High Demand. Before that, I was the Soul Fire champion for 240 some odd days, where I lost that championship at the Spooktacular to Mr. Wallace. I've been out of action ever since that attack. Now, you want to know how I got in the title picture? I got in the title picture due to my performance as the Soul Fire champion. Don't let A-List Alverson fool you. He's going to tell you that I inserted myself into this match, but I was awarded an opportunity at any championship that I desired, and it is my destiny to defeat A-List Alverson at Heartbreaker 2.
Okay, talk about privilege. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the date is February 23rd, Heart and Soul Promotions. These two guys are going to be going at each other's throats. Make sure you are there to witness it. It's going to be historic. This is EJ the DJ bringing you out into the break. Toot your horns. Let me know you can hear. It's the 1-800-COLLECT Road Report on tour with A-List Alverson for the coast-to-coast title match boast for Heart and Soul Promotions. A-List Alverson now phones into us live from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Damn it, let me tell you what happened. After we leave New York City, the traffic is absolutely horrendous. We're hours behind schedule, and I tell the bus driver we need to get our keisters to L.A. for a radio interview over there. And the dumb bum they got driving the bus sets course for Louisiana instead of Los Angeles. So as we're going in the wrong direction, I'm expecting to start seeing In-N-Out burgers all over the place. I see nothing but Cracker Barrels. And then the Newmar starts acting up because of some kind of deal with the Blackwater tank being full. It's all kinds of hell I don't know. Anyway, Haywood, I'm going to catch you in Texas. It ain't my fault. Blame the management of this stupid tour. Damn it!
HSP fans, this has been your 1-800-COLLECT Road Report with A-List Alverson. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alistair A., and I'm an addict. Last title match, February 9th, 2023. I know that date keeps changing, but I haven't quite made it past step one yet. I've been chasing championships for years now and holding on to the ones that I do catch, thinking that I've had the good fortune of catching them. But of course, I was thinking like an addict. The game's changed now. It's not a game anymore. It's an obsession. I get greeted by the youngsters and the people just breaking in, and even the old-timers that never quite got the success they were hoping for. And they always ask me, tell me, how can I be A-List Alverson? Man, you want to be A-List Alverson? Take something you love and then stick it under the rug while you work on something else for a little while. A little while longer. And longer still. And it got to a point where I was suddenly holding myself on top to protect those beneath me from the sickness that I've succumbed to. I remember I was with a young man. He was very determined. He was hungry, and he wanted to be a champion. And I went out of my way to find him personally, and I sat him down, and I wanted to say, here, kid, here's the money. There's the grand prize. You don't need to be the champion. You don't want that. Of course, when you're in it, there ain't no answer good enough. He ended up stealing my belt, and he won it still. And I was amazed then by the depths and the lengths that people would go to just to be able to call themselves a champion. I don't know why I was surprised by it. I saw a show recently where no less than 6 people absolutely went to the wall just to get a shot at being the guy. It was scary. They were so focused, so engaged. Oh my God. And as people get to know you, your name gets out there, everybody wants to see your face. My days have gotten longer. My nights have gotten longer. You get up early, spend the whole day thinking about how to have that next best match that elevates what you do. And those around you who want to get in that spot need to up their game higher and higher just to keep up, then you have the next best match. You're the winner. You gotta celebrate. You gotta. It's part of the personality, and you're out all night. And that night just starts your next day's work, which is gonna be harder than the last day's work that you had. And right recently, I just spent more money than a lot of hard-working people make in a year, riding around on a bus for 2 weeks just to promote this big match with my top rival. I tell you, that man, he ought to be sitting in this chair right next to me. He's as sick as I am. But this is the battle we choose to fight. And Hollywood Haywood, it's time for me to go and get my next fix.